ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the NotBland Show. And I'm your host, Dujunnea Bland. And today we are going to be talking a lot of changes, a lot of news and notes from, all the breaking news that we've seen over the last couple of hours here. We're going to talk about the championships that are going to be decided here at the last race of the season at the In-N-Out Burger Pomona Finals. So it's going to be fun, man. You guys know what to do. Like the show, share the show with a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend that we're talking a little NHRA Championship drag racing. You guys actually might get a Let Me Talk to You segment about some things I need to really get off my chest with what's going on NFL-wise with hip drop tackles. So we'll talk about that at the end of the show. But going to have Dave W. on. You guys know him very well and is very, very knowledgeable about what we're talking about tonight. Historian of the sport. It's going to be good, man. Going to be good. I'm glad you guys are here. Let's get locked in. Look, I know another weekend of Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. I was able to brag for one round, and then I had to go cap. I got a lot of red in my ledger. It was downhill from then. Yeah. Perfect first round in Funny Car. And, right down the toilet, as we've been doing all season long. Can't seem to capitalize on anything. Hope you guys were able to do that as well and not fumble it. So, yeah, we'll talk about that too. Well, let's get to it, man. We're going to show you what you need to do to get involved. The last race of the season here. Get yourself registered, win some free prizes, and have some fun all at the same time. And this is how you can do it. And after we get out of the break, we will have Dave W.
Drag racing fans, check out Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. It's the free, family-friendly fantasy bracket game. Now, after final qualifying at every national event, you can fill out your bracket for all the pro classes.
It's free, easy to click on your picks. If you need some help, just hit the randomizer button to fill in the blanks. It's for fun, stay engaged, and pick your winners today.
Dave, what's going on, brother?
Hey, glad to be here. Glad to see you.
Yeah, man.
Enjoying what a race that we had at Vegas. Looking forward to next weekend's race in Galat for IHRA, and then the following weekend's race in Pomona to wrap it up. There's going to be 3 awesome weekends of drag racing coming up here.
Yes, indeed. Very much so. Looking forward to it. We kind of kicked things off at the same time as the NHRA did here at the Southeast Gassers Association. Last race of the season, man, it was a blast. Of course, the team came through, did what they needed to do, and did an excellent job. Closed out the season strong. Everybody did, from the racers to the media team. We closed out the season strong. Really going to get into a lot of that on the Power Hour. So make sure you stay locked in here tonight and come on over at 9 o'clock to Power Hour and check us out there, as we will be talking some Southeast Gassers Association. And we'll be talking some Fuel Altered, as they will be at the last race of the season for the IHRA. So I'm looking forward to that. Blake, man, doing great as always. Anytime we get to do this, it's always a good day. Always a good day. You know what I mean? Mac 1320, what's up? How you doing? And yeah, silly season week is it's been wild. We keep going on and on and on about this stuff, man. And it's going to get even more crazier as we get into it. I think I'll start right out before we get into things about the action. Carlisle Tools announced as Maddie Gordon's sponsor. I'm going to say that I had no idea what the announcement would be. Did not have any foresight on that. But when it was announced, I also was not surprised. I mean, they're kind of already on board with Ron Capps. It makes sense that they would go ahead and sponsor that Top Fuel dragster and be out there full time and be able to be seen for 21 races instead of, spots on his car They will still be there, of course, but I'm not surprised at that news.
I'm not surprised by it either. It makes sense with what they've been promoting this year. And man, is that not a cool looking dragster or what? The mean green machine. That Carlisle's tool scheme looks awesome on that dragster. And it's going to be a canopy car. It was another thing that I took away from the announcement and the dragster reveal. So that's pretty cool. Great to see Maddie going to be stepping into a top-notch ride next year. And I'm sure that their Carlisle Tools scheme will probably be on Ron's Funny Car for a race or two, maybe next year as well. So maybe a chance for him to do a double up.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool to see them do a double up. I wish I had grabbed the scheme there.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can grab that here. Sorry, guys, your boy is behind today with a lot of stuff.
I think it even had the Dodge Demon head on the side of it too, outlined. It kind of reminded me of Leah's old Mopar scheme that had that on there too. So that's a really cool scheme. Can't wait to see it out on track. Yeah, a lot of big SEMA news today. Between that, we've got modified eliminator coming back. I know Bobby Bennett is absolutely in love with that, so I'm sure there'll be some commentary there. It's getting added into the competition competition eliminator category as its own standalone series to run with those guys. So that was an announcement. You had Keith Haney and KB Titan teaming up for a pro mod deal. You had that announcement. NHRA dropped a 9-race factory stock FlexJet factory stock showdown schedule this year. So a lot of big stuff today, and it's only day one. Can't wait to see what's coming up next.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're able to produce, and really cool like factory, bringing that back. That's going to be interesting to see. I just hope that, look, man, like we talk about it all the time, and we got to do a better job of. We can't keep adding classes and not taking any away. Like you get cluttered, and that's that. I think that's the problem now, is that we have too many classes out there running, and it gums up the works, and then you kind of don't get a chance to see some people because of the fact that time is of the essence, and you run out of time, especially when you've got oil downs and sometimes you've got weather. So,
and I think that's why their introduction to bring it back is to make it as part of competition eliminator, so that way it's got its place, and it's not going to be a standalone class. Not to say that it couldn't be in the future, but the article was interesting. The commentary was there could be more heritage classes coming back, so I wonder if that means maybe Pro Stock Truck could make a return in the competition eliminator category as well, which is where it got kind of pushed off to when it dissolved as a pro class to begin with. But at Drag Race Mayhem, is anyone going to build a car for that? Well, I don't think that they're going to be building new cars for it. You could be, but I'm guessing it's most guys that have these cars that are still out here, because it is limited to a 1981 and older production car with a small block and a stick shift, and that is the main rule. So it's basically like you're starting 1981 all over again. And a lot of fans, older fans who were around at that time and love those high winding small blocks. Man, if you've never seen one of those cars leave the line at 10,000 RPM, just dumping the clutch, man, that is sensory overload. It is one of the coolest things that you'll see. And then banging gears going all the way down the track. It is a cool category. It's a shame that it went away. And kudos for the NHRA to bring it back in their 75th anniversary season.
Yeah, that is very smart. I do give them credit for that. And I'm looking forward to see how it all pans out. I really do. I would like to see Pro Stock Truck come back. I thought it was a really cool class that I think they didn't give it enough time. And it was, of course, it wasn't as fast as the other Pro Stock class. And I think people kind of got they crapped on it before it got done. Man, I love that look right there. This car is absolutely amazing. A lot of these people are going to these canopy cars, and I just, you heard Richard talk about it. they feel that, and it's a safer car. It takes a little bit getting used to, I guess, if you've never run it before, because you don't really have the sound that you would have without the canopy. But I do like the canopy cars. I would be more inept to drive one of those than an open cockpit for sure.
I'm sure
Beautiful
she can't
car,
wait
though.
to get in there and make some test hits in this car. And
Yeah,
maybe it'd be a little bit more comfortable for her too. Anyway, she's used to being under a body in the alcohol funny car, so maybe not too much of a transition to have that canopy on there. Cool
right.
looking car though, man. Just really slick looking ride.
Definitely. Very slick. And I'm looking forward to seeing her being out there. I think she's going to be a great addition to that class. She actually has personality, and you're going to see that within, her driving, and in those moments. I think that will be on display. It'll be definitely a um, you know, refreshing to have her within the top fuel class for sure. Since Caps is also doing the right thing, hiring an elite talent versus just getting another paid driver, it's a different level of respect you get. I'm all for this. I'm really, the paid driver it's a difficult spot, and you're right. It's a different vibe from a paid driver to someone who has just simply earned it. And I like his approach, going and using the model that was set forth and the reason why he was able to get an opportunity. And I'd like to see more people do that. To me, I just think at times some of these owners are getting a little lazy in putting in the work in getting sponsorships, and they're expecting these young drivers to bring in money, and be a bit of a cash cow. I don't think some people can do that. Not everyone can. And at the end of the day, it is part of your job to
Right.
find that money.
Right.
They need to be focused on, especially when they're just a driver. And not saying that she can't do anything else, but at the end of the day, you're a driver, and the owner and its staff needs to be concerned about money and where to get that from. Travis Bams, is anyone even going to build a car? Oh, you said that already. Okay, I'm a little behind, guys, so I'm just getting to your stuff. Pro Mod is on the rise. It is. It really is. I think it's always been there, but now it's being put on more of a bigger stage. You look at the IHRA and that stage. That was fantastic racing this weekend in that Pro Mod class for the championship. That's how you want to see stuff go down. You know what I mean? That's how you want to see the racing go down. And man, what a weekend for that Pro Mod class and the championship. Absolutely, just
The
it
quickest
was
cars
fun
going
to
out
watch.
on hole shots. I mean, the most of
Yes.
the first round, decided by hole shots. Drivers going rounds that you didn't anticipate to go rounds, and then at the end of the day, it comes down to a winner take all final. I mean, that played out with the best storylines that you possibly could have for the final race of the year.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. Yeah, we did see that. That was pretty rough. I'm not gonna be too hard on the guy, and I know the guy's been taking he's been taking a lot of hits here in the internet world. I'll say this, and I'll look at it from a more analytic standpoint, because I watched that run about several times, and it appears to me that was probably, I believe, his first pass in a fuel car ever, and I couldn't tell whether there was a possibility of a stuck throttle or whatever, but I think we forget the power and what these cars are capable of, because we see a lot of people make it look so easy. Um, Things can go awry as quick as you can blink, and you're in an oh shit moment. And before you can even say the ish part, you're into the wall. So I'm not going to be hard on the guy. There's so many things. We can sit here on Monday morning quarterback it all day long, and sure, it looked like he may have stayed in it too long. There could have been a malfunction. I don't see how, I don't. Well, I will say this: if you're new, I can't see how that can happen. But at the same time, that initial when he hit the throttle and it went up on the tire so quick that before he could realize what was going on, it was too late. Because think about it, a lot of people drive by the seat of their pants. Well, a new driver doesn't have that feel yet. He doesn't know what that feels like yet. He doesn't know what tire shape feels like yet. He doesn't know what going up in smoke feels like. And he probably just caught it too late. That could have been it. So inexperience plays a part, but at the same time, man, these cars are it reminds us that how dangerous these cars are. And just an unfortunate set of circumstances. They'll be able to probably back half and front half that car and be able to give it to Richard when the season is over. But there's going to be a little work that's going to need to be done to that one.
Well, and just to further your point, it's been a while since we've seen such a violent crash like that, where the thing gets sideways, gets up and over the wall and into the other lane. I mean, that was scary. It was definitely a scary experience. And at the same point, you don't ever get that feel without doing it, and that's the problem. Some people, just like rookie pro stock driver. Look at Kurt Johnson, all the cars he tore up in his rookie season. Like, you don't know what you don't know, and when you're out of the groove, when the thing's smoking the tires, if you're in a funny car and the thing's sideways and you're pedaling it, Ashley Force put one in the wall. I mean, the stuff happens. So, nobody's being harder on him than himself right now. No doubt.
Exactly.
Just glad that he's okay. It sucks that everything that happens now is in such the public limelight and social media and gives everybody a forum to just talk crap about everything. And it's a shame that it comes to that. And like I say, I'm glad he's okay, but I'm sure he's beating himself up over it more than anything, because if there was something that he did wrong and he knows he did wrong, that's a very big mistake to have made. And if not, if something happened, mechanical failure, whatever the case may be to cause it, that's a hard knocks lesson to learn right there. And I guarantee you, if he gets back in it again, he's gonna, have that experience and think twice about it. Because look at how many guys back in the day that used to have accidents in testing, whether it was part failures or driver's failures, but you never really knew about it except for what you'd read in National Dragster or see pictures of it. You didn't have videos all over social media within hours of it happening, and news reports getting dropped about it. Stuff like that used to happen back in the day. A lot of the guys had testing crashes. Prudhomme in his return to Top Fuel had a blowover. Dixon had testing crash in '95 at Bakersfield. I mean, a lot of guys tore some stuff up in testing, in preseason testing, before they ever set foot in a national event. They're not easy to drive. And, like I say, take away what you will from it. If it was driver error, you know better for next time. If it was a mechanical error, you know how to react next time, maybe a little bit better, and just everything's a learning experience. That's all.
Indeed. This is a good question. Do you think that the process to license a Top Fuel car should be stricter? He said, I think you should at least have some time in another fast car like Pro Mod, Alcohol, or Pro Stock to even attempt to license. He has not raced anything faster than factory stock, correct?
Not that I'm aware of. No, I think that was a big question that was going around online too. I don't know that. I don't have the answer to go beyond that. If you've ever went to Frank Hawley's school and just took a couple hits in an alcohol dragster or anything, right. So I don't know that to say one way or the other. But I mean, that should be potentially part of your step up to the ladder for sure. To kind of get an idea. But you can look at what Angel said when she got out of Antron's car this weekend or on Monday. She's like, man, that thing was so much smoother and a nicer drive and easier to do than anything I've experienced in an alcohol dragster. That thing rattles and shakes and carries on. She's like, this thing just moved up and went. So every car is going to react differently. I mean, the only thing that you can really work yourself up to, and I think that maybe a couple launches in an alcohol car, learn how to do a burnout, learning throttle response. And and getting that quick 60-foot time, just get a couple of quick launches and stuff like that to kind of get the sensation and experience. Because, I mean, I don't think I personally would just say I've never been in one and I want to just jump into a top fuel car. I mean, you got to work your way up, and I started in my first run down the track was an 1130 or 1140, I think it was, and worked my way all the way up to 970s. But my NHRA license good all the way to 750. Doesn't mean I can handle a 750 race car. Maybe I couldn't. Maybe, when I always talk to my dad about it, because he'd, been significantly quicker and faster. And he's like, once you get the feel for it, the only thing that happens is it just gets there quicker. Once you're in high gear, it either evens off or it just doesn't stop pulling. So that's kind of, there's a learning curve and a progression all the way to the top. But, we could say the same thing for, which it's been kind of not really even mentioned since it's happened. So I don't really know what happened with the deal. Randy Couture getting in a Pro Mod car and crashing testing, trying to get his license. Haven't heard anything from him after that. Don't know if he's healed from his injuries. Thought he had some burns. It's just been quiet on that front, and he's not made any comments about getting back in that. And I believe he already had a couple of runs in Top Sportsman before he got in one. So these things are just unforgiving. They are wild, unpredictable, and you can either handle it or you can't. But there's only one way to learn, by getting in and doing it.
Yeah, and I will tell you this from my experience at looking to get my license in 1999. I had called Frank Holly's school and I asked him straight up, do I need to have any experience? Because I was looking to jump in a top alcohol dragster. And they said, no, we're not going to try to talk you out of it. You know what I mean? And, we have all the schooling, but there is no criteria. If that's what you want to do, we'll teach you how to do it. So you don't have to go and do super comp or any of that. You can go and license in a top alcohol dragster or funny car if you want. You got the money to get a license, you can do that. And I think they're the best school on the planet. And I think their classroom time, the people that they have involved with the school, I don't think you can fail in that department. And I think you'll be well equipped. And it's just a matter of getting laps. Shout out to my guy, John Randell, getting his alcohol funny car license this 2 weeks ago. The guy's been in a fueled altered or a slingshot dragster for years now, running March meet. He's run super comp a lot as well. Did an excellent job. I've got a lot of the videos of him testing and to get his license, and did a really good job. He said he got close to the wall on like the third pass, but saved it. But he was able to get his license. Super happy for him. It was a dream and really has been a long-term dream for him. Especially his dad passed away this past year. And he had a dream and he stuck to it and he accomplished what he set out to do. And now it's only up from here. You know what I mean? Now the opportunities and the doors will open now because he has his license. So shout out to, Jeff Arend for helping him out as well. And I'm leaving out one other person that helped him, but I remember Jeff. So shout out to him as well for helping him get that process started. And super cool, man. But yeah, that's just it. You can do that. So
I'd be interested to see you getting in an alcohol dragster. When you going?
Oh man, I don't know.
Doing this?
I don't know.
Because sometimes when you get in with no experience, that's almost like, you don't have any bad habits. You're not bringing anything into it.
Yes.
Like how Troy Jr. was really oversteering a top fuel car when he was in it. If you remember his Steelmaster car in 2017.
Yep.
If you don't know, you don't know. But then you look at the other side of it, and you got all the Force girls, and they all went through Super Comp, alcohol dragster, and then into Nitro. They all took the steps all the way to the top. So, and Beckman was there with every step of the way. Holly's school was every step of the way. And I wish, I don't think, I've tried to look it up, but I don't see that it occurs anymore. But Roy Hill's drag racing school used to be the go-to place for door cars.
Yes.
You get a pro stock license through them, and I don't think that they do that anymore. They do the bring your own car and whatnot, and there's a lot of stuff that you could learn, and you just got to think outside of stuff that you never even realized and have somebody else's perspective and point of view and show you maybe something that you've been doing wrong that you didn't even know you've been doing wrong. So even veteran racers going to those schools is still a good thing, just a refresher.
It really is. You never can stop learning in these things. I think you're always doing continual learning as you continue to progress within your career. The day you think you got it is the day you usually will end up in the wall somewhere.
Right.
You cannot lose respect for these things, man. They are very unpredictable, and just when you think you got it, you don't. So, you got to have a lot of respect. I did not and was not aware of this news here of Rob Flynn being let go. That's interesting. I feel like the guy is, he was one of the best free agents that were out there.
I don't know that he was. I didn't see in the announcement that he was let go. They were just doing a crew chief change for the teams in Pomona that I saw, starting for next year in Pomona, where they were moving Jim over to Schumacher's car, and then Nick Bonifant Jr. is going to step up to be crew chief on Clay's car.
Yeah, so maybe he was not released. He's probably still part of the team, because I haven't heard of anything like that. I'm sure that would have come across my phone if that was the case. So I'm assuming that he's probably there, just in a different form or different fashion there.
And if he's not, it's probably because there's another announcement coming. He ain't going to be off the market long, kind of like a Mike Green situation. Like,
you got that
he's not on the roster. Well, guess what? He's on somebody else's roster. So
exactly. Yeah, I don't see him being without a job. That's for sure. I think we're going to get clarity on that within the next couple of days here as SEMA gets going out there. So, I'm not worried about him at all. But let's take a look at this race here. We go in here to Vegas. Yes, there were a lot of things on the line. There were a lot of things that had to go right for some drivers as well. A lot of people were in a do or die situation, and some folks are trying to make it interesting, and some have made it interesting. And I think that's only really one class. Maybe you could throw pro stock in there, but your winners, Brittany Force comes out, gets a win. And I'm happy for her to be able to close out, did it in the same place they did it last year to make it interesting and have 7-8 cars going into Pomona with an opportunity to win the championship. Matt Hagan, I kind of had that feeling. I was really contemplating putting Matt within the final along with Proc. And I wasn't surprised when he made it all the way. And I really wasn't surprised that he won. It was something about this weekend. And I didn't get a chance to watch a lot of the qualifying or anything like that. But, I've had to, I've had to kind of watch the tape afterwards. But I'm not surprised by that. Dallas Glenn does what he needs to do, getting the job done there. Within, the pro stock ranks, and kind of getting that 3-round lead to kind of solidify or try to solidify his championship, gives him a great lead there. And Gage Herrera throws a punch back and finds himself within the winner's circle. But shout out to Angie Smith and the clinic she put on this weekend. She was sharp and not overly sharp to where she was red lighting. I think she was really calm this weekend too. It was something different about Angie this weekend, and she seemed very calm throughout the race day. And it's just unfortunate, man. I felt bad because she did everything she needed to do to win that race. Gage was just a touch better, and that sucks, man. But that's drag racing.
That is. And, great to, like you say, for her to go that round. It makes me wonder how the semifinals would have played out if Braden Davis's bike didn't break. Man, that was a shame to see for him because it was looking like it was going to be an all Vance and Hines final again. But, definitely kudos to Angie. And I think that maybe, just maybe, they stepped on it a little too much in the John Force Racing camp because when they saw Hagan throw down that 87 and then Proc answered with another 87, and they were like, oh, well, we're answering back and forth. I think they knew that they had to bring their A game to the final. Mm-hmm. And I think that they might have just stepped over that line just a little bit too much. And, but they were going for it. I mean, if that thing would have stuck, it probably would have went 85, I'd guess. And they were there to lay the smackdown. They're like, look, you know what, win or lose, we're going into Pomona in a good spot. I mean, 100 and some back. I don't think Matt's going to make up all those qualifying points over Austin with the car Austin's had lately.
Yeah.
So it's going to stay at 4 rounds. And Austin's, I mean, we've seen 341 miles an hour out of that car last year, and we've seen Robert Height throw away championships smoking the tires in first round. So,
we have.
You could go either way. You don't know what kind of Pomona you're going to get. But I would be absolutely stunned if Matt Hagan and Greg Anderson pull off Pomona miracles. I think that I'm in your camp on the 3, the 2 nitro classes and pro stock car. I think are pretty well set. I think that it's going to be real interesting if you know what I think they're going to stay pretty much even keel and they're going to go into eliminations. I mean, Gage is going to go in ahead. But he's not going to be able to put another round on Richard because Richard's got too good of a bike. He ain't going to lose that many points in qualifying. Nope. So, they're going to go in there back and forth, or the other way around, sorry. And they're going to go in there back and forth and battle it. And, may the best rider win because if they go out in the same round, Richard's got the upper hand. But, they're going to – he's not got enough room. Gage doesn't have enough room to get to within – less than a round or change the order. So I don't think that I think that's going to be the one to watch. And it may come down all the way down to a winner take all final.
It definitely might.
In motorcycle.
It definitely might. I got a lot of confidence in Richard, the bike and his skills. I mean, he cut a trip zip, dude. Like
yeah, he cut a trip zip, and then the other guy was 005 or
it's crazy.
I mean, they were ready for it. That was a race.
Yeah. I mean, just talk about dominating the tree. I mean, they just took it. And I think these are 2 bikes that are at least going to make it to the semifinal round. And if he makes it to the semifinal round, Gage has no shot. So he's going to have to. What he needs to happen doesn't look like it's possible to happen because he's not going to be able to make up that. He's not going to be able to make that up if Richard continues to go rounds. He's just not going to be able to do it.
Yeah, and I'm looking to see because I was just curious if anything is updated here as far as the Pomona entry list because I'm curious if they are having a full field. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8.
While he's looking at that, I want to address that.
No, we only got a 14 bike field so far.
Oh, interesting.
So that means 14 bikes means number 1 or 14 would get the round 2 bye.
See that.
So somebody, you definitely would be number 1 qualifying there because
you're gonna get a free round.
Or how about this? You got 14 bikes. You know you ain't gonna DNQ. You just go up there and push in the clutch every time. If you're Richard Gadsden and run Gage first round, just let's go for it. Forget the winner take all final. Let's just do it first round.
That would be a strategy. That would be ballsy too.
Put it all on the line. I think that their main goal is obviously, and let me see here, re-looking at the points, if it is close enough, 60 points. I think that their goal, aside from the championship between the first 2, is get Braden Davis to 3rd.
Yeah.
Get him around the 2 Smith bikes. because it is possible for him to do that. So I could see Braden going rounds and trying to get that too. But they got a lot to look forward to there.
Isn't it funny? The same stuff continues to happen to him when he gets into these late rounds. It's the same stuff. And right there, what happened to him in Vegas right there, ladies and gentlemen, is the reason why he cannot be Rookie of the Year. Can't deliver in big moments. He can't be. Well, he cannot be Rookie of the Year.
Bike? What happened?
I don't know. The bike probably pissed down his leg, but I get on Matt Smith when you have stupid $12 parts that continue to break and stupid things continue to happen to you in big moments. You got to get better. And you can't let those things will cost you races. They will cost you championships. Ask Matt Smith. That's part of his problem of why he's where the position he was in. He had too many flub ups earlier in the year to get you behind the 8 ball. And I look, I'm not telling you right now who I pick for Rookie of the Year, but I understand some of the others, but
I know who you're picking for Rookie of the Year. Everybody's picking him for Rookie of the Year. Come on now, don't be coy about it. We got Spencer Hyde, who you go for Rookie of the Year.
Yes.
Yeah, Spencer Hyde. I mean, come on. First season in Nitro Funny Car, going rounds, going to finals.
That I know a lot of people had him up there. I think there was one more that other people talked about. I think it was Chad Green. And I could see that one a little bit. He had to step in.
You mean Hunter Green?
Hunter Green. Sorry, Hunter Green. He had to step in for Blake Alexander for over that time he was out. Yes, but I think when you look at apples to apples, I think Spencer has done a really good job with that race car and who he's racing for. That's pressure in itself. That's just about as much pressure as racing for John Force. So he's done an excellent job of running that car and doing what Jim Head expects. So
and with one race to go, it is not out of the realm of possibility for Spencer Hyde to finish as high as 6th in points.
Another factor.
I mean, he's less than a round out of 6th, and he's in 9th right now. I mean, everybody's, in all honesty, 6th through 10th is within a round in Funny Car right now.
Yeah.
With points and a half. But that just goes to show you how close everybody's been. Or option B, he can go out first round. It looks like he could probably fall all the way back to 12th if the cards go the other way. So
right,
he can get as high as 6th or low as 12th. You never know where it's going to be. I just find it hard to give Rookie of the Year consideration to drivers that have not run full seasons.
See, that's my thought too.
That's my problem is, I know Matt Latino stepped in. He was a super sub. He did a good job in the Pro Stock car. I know, Braden Davis came in. He ran a couple of races, and he ended up making the top 10, and he's going to finish probably top 5 in points if Pomona goes according to plan, maybe higher. But he hasn't run the whole year. So how do you be a Rookie of the Year when you've run 6 races?
Yeah, I'm not okay with that either.
A guy that's been there all season long.
Yeah. I think
the way I look at it.
That's my thought process with it all. And I know Nicole will probably disagree with me on that one. We were kind of texting about that, but I can't pick a guy who hadn't run a full season when that guy's run every race.
Right, and the other one was in there was Cody Coughlin, who's already out of the car. He ain't even finishing the year. So it said 6 drivers were eligible. You had Spencer Hyde was one of them. We got here Spencer Hyde, Cody Coughlin, Hunter Green, who you'd mentioned.
Yeah.
Cody Coughlin, Matt Latino, and looks like they added Chris Feng to the list.
Yeah.
Who has also run just a partial schedule, a couple events in Pro Stock. But I mean, Spencer Hyde's had a number 1 qualifier. He won a Mission Foods Challenge.
Yep.
He's been runner-up at national events. I mean, I don't know. How do you compare somebody who has all of those? Stephen Bell also was on the list too, which again, not a full season. It looks like.
Nope.
So I don't really know how it's a competition. Even if Braden Davis won the championship, I'd still feel like awkward giving him Rookie of the Year because he didn't run a full season.
Yeah. And you have to also take in consideration. So, people will throw out that argument, but I mean, look at the bikes in pro stock bike, and half of those guys didn't even run a full season.
Yeah.
That's why he's able to didn't run a full season and weren't very good. And because he could ride the darn bike and they have a good bike, he was able to catapult himself up to the top 5 pretty quickly because of it. So, you got to look at all the parameters here when it comes to that. And those things, that is something for me that I'm not okay with giving, rookie of the year to part-timers. I don't know. No.
How about
Sorry.
Brittany Force's performance, though, this weekend? How about that performance? She was on lights.
Yes.
She was on a mission, and like you mentioned, back-to-back at Vegas. She's not going to at least close her career without a win this season.
Yeah.
If that ends up being the end of it. Moves herself up into a tie with Gary Beck, Brandon Bernstein, and Justin Ashley with 19 career wins. Becomes the female with the most wins in Top Fuel by breaking her tie with Shirley Muldowney. She's tied for 12th all-time, basically, on the win list. If she happens to win Pomona, she would tie Sean Langdon with 20 wins at 11th. So not bad to be almost top 10 in career wins when you're calling it a day.
Yeah. She did have a win at Epping this year. That was their last win.
Their last win was Epping before this. Yes, that was the one that tied Shirley.
Yep. And
to go out after her retirement announcement and get one.
She's another one this weekend. It was just something in her eyes that said that she was determined this weekend. Their team obviously has been, but she was determined to get a win this weekend. And she was just different. She was very different. You could tell in the top end interview after the win. She was very different this weekend, super focused, and really was on her game this weekend. And I hope that it translates in Pomona and she can close out, with another one, or at least have a semifinal, or runner-up finish at the very least.
I think it just depends if it's cool weather Pomona or hot weather Pomona.
That's the difference.
If we got 60 and 70 degree Pomona, that car is going to haul the mail, and she just got to knock that tree down, and you're going rounds.
Yeah.
It's going to be a 340 mile an hour battle all day.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to see to close the season.
Indeed.
To me, that's what I want to see to close the season. Maybe other people don't. Maybe other people don't care. But I think that would be a fitting end to it. But the pressure was on, 2 to go. They step up. They get a big win. Awesome job for them. And just shy of a JFR double up too after seeing how Brock goes up in smoke right after. He was probably like, damn it, ruined that one.
Yeah, ruined it bad. These fuel classes, I think Drag Race Mayhem said it best. If Hagan pulls this off, that's a major choke job. I think we'll be all be doing the Reggie Miller if he does that. I don't see it happening. They've just been too good all season, and there's not enough rounds for Hagan to catch them. Even if they were to go out in the semifinal round, it's just not enough rounds to catch him. And he's got to out qualify him, and has to outrun him and win the thing. And he has to pretty much go out first round for him to have an opportunity to win a championship, period.
Yeah.
So that's highly unlikely.
I think so too. And to answer Drag Race Mayhem's latest comment, being tied with Justin Ashley when he's been in Top Fuel for 5 years and you've been for a decade isn't a flex. No, but 2 Top Fuel World Championships are. There's your flex.
And I don't think
you want race wins or you want championships. What do you want?
Right. And here's my thing too, though. When you started putting together this historical site with all the information, and I started combing over guys and girls and their wins, and I'm like, man, you think of some people on that list, you thought they had more wins than what they had, and they really didn't. And it goes to show you how difficult it really is to win in this pro sport. especially in the fuel classes, it's not that easy. And when, people will be like, oh, well, only 2 championships. That's a difficult to have 2 is pretty damn good. Not everybody can get, people are barely getting 1. So it is not as easy as it looks. And as we kind of in our minds grasp when we talk about points and all these other things, it's not that easy. And for her to be finishing where she's finished, there's a lot of guys that did a lot of racing, and they're not. You think of them as winners, but they really didn't have that many wins in their career. Well, and they definitely didn't have any championships.
Prime example is when people think back to the 90s, different parts of the 90s, obviously, mid-90s, you think Scott Coletta. Because him and Dick LaHaye, we just went on a tear. They won back-to-back championships. They won, 4 in a row. You think, man, Scott Coletta, man, he was the man. When I think top fuel champions of the 90s, I think Scott Coletta. He was out there for decades in both fuel categories. And he's only got 17 top fuel wins.
Yeah.
That's it. He's not as high on. Brittany has more wins than Scott Coletta and the same amount of championships. But when you think back to it, you think, oh, Scott Coletta. Same thing with Shirley Muldowney. She won 18 races, but 3 championships. So it's what you remember them for. They may not be as successful, but the wins that they did have seem to be more memorable, or their championships stuck out more than their national event wins. There are certain things. And what is Brittany's, where is her legacy going to be? Is it going to be a 2-time champ? It's not going to be because she's got 19 wins. The number probably isn't relevant. The fact that she has more wins than Shirley and she is the female with the most wins in top fuel might be her legacy. 340 miles an hour is probably going to be a big part of her legacy, just like 300 was for Kenny Bernstein. So, you never know what somebody's legacy might be or what somebody might remember them for at the end of the day. But, to look back at something like that, like Scott Coletta, all his races were won between 93 and 05. And, some of those races that he picked up were towards the end, in 03, 04, 05 when he came back into West Coast Chopper's car for the team, because he retired for a while too and stepped out of it. But, when you look at it like that and you look at the big picture, Eddie Hill won a championship. Everybody remembers the nuclear banana, 499 Eddie Hill, 13 national event wins. So he didn't have as many as you may think. But then you look at other guys. I know you've told me before, Morgan Lucas won 12 national events. I didn't know he had as many as he did. Morgan Lucas has just as many wins as Leah Pruitt and Mike Dunn.
Yeah.
So, when you stack it all up, that's not necessarily – not everybody is remembered for their successes. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah. And we could say that, sure. But I think we're also – if by doing that, we're also discrediting the talent that she's had to go up against in her career as well. And she hasn't always had this car that she's had. But at the end of the day, too, when you look at cars like this that make this kind of power, that can run 340 mile an hour with ease, I say it all the time, it is a thin line between love and hate. And when you are making that kind of horsepower, sometimes they just simply miss. They simply miss because it's so that the car is so aggressive. And they're so aggressive at how they attack the racetrack. And sometimes you miss. And then sometimes you just get flat out beat. She'll tell you straight up that she wasn't the best didn't have the best lights throughout her career. But you got to look at the competition that she also faced as well. So to be where she is, career wins wise is pretty remarkable considering.
That when you say it like that, I mean, look at it this way. She raced in the same era that Steve Torrence from May of 2012 when he won his first race, Bristol when he won his last race earlier this year to date, which is in a 13-year span, 56 races, and he's 5th all time, plus all those championships in a row. When that guy's running over the field, the fact that you can even amass any amount of wins against a powerhouse like that, and have anything in your win total. And that's really what you got to look at, like Tony Schumacher, 88, Antron Brown, 65, Dixon 62, Doug Coletta's 59, Torrance 56, Amato 52. Those guys have the lion's share of the 1,000 national event wins, and that's why everybody else's number kind of pales in comparison. Because look at the decade of dominance, the video they put out on Tony Schumacher. Anybody that picked up national event wins in that time frame is, I mean, J.R. Todd smoking him twice on hole shots and breaking his win streak. I mean, that's hero moves right there.
Yeah, it really was. I think we forget about those things. As great as some of these drivers are, just it's the competition around them, and the competition. I'd say that's why when I look back at the 90s, yes, was the competition good? Yeah, at the top, but in the era that she's racing in, you at least got 14 cars you got to worry about, and then late in the era, you have 16 cars you have to worry about, because these guys that are showing up are no longer doing Bruce Linton type stuff. They're actually going out there and running numbers and keeping you honest. So, it's gotten tougher. I mean, I know a lot of people my age talk about the glory days, but I think if you honestly go back and you look at some of the people in those times and their win total, you'll find out that there was just a handful of cars that were really doing it. The rest of them were filling out the field. You know what I mean? They maybe come up and get an upset here or there, but for the most part, they didn't have 16 cars that were out there capable of winning a race.
No, sometimes you had more than half a second between number 1 and 16 qualifiers, and those guys were just there filling the fields. And yeah, I mean, we had some events where 25, 30 cars would show up and you'd send a lot of them home. But the ones that you sent home were just the part-time guys that were out there just, running a second behind. They didn't have the potential that the top tier guys did. So yeah, the level of competition definitely makes a difference. And speaking of level of competition, Dallas Glenn, baby, 026 on the tree against Greg Anderson. Greg Anderson's got his best light of the weekend, 033. And the car, I almost want to say the car maybe let him down, because he went a 57, a 59, and then a 60 with a 3, which was the same thing that Matt Hartford ran, only 205 miles an hour. And I feel like at that moment in time, by 44 10,000ths of a second, Greg Anderson's season's over.
Yeah, I think he's done. And Dallas did himself a solid by winning. And put himself in a different position this year of, you don't want to be too relaxed, but he can go out there and do what he's been doing all season. And he's just got to go out there and qualify well. And, he's got to at least win one round.
To feel somewhat safe? Yeah, I would say so. Now, don't get me wrong. We could just sit here and man, look at this, and take nothing away from him. He went to his 13th final round of the season. That is a astounding amount of final rounds. I mean, nobody is more deserving of this championship than Dallas if he's to pull it off. But let's just say he goes out there and red lights by 2000s, or gets beat on a hole shot by one of the Quadra boys first round at Pomona, and Anderson steals this thing, and we're just like,
exactly. Yeah. I mean, we've seen it happen. You can't never say never on that. Because we've seen it happen. It is very well possible. So I think when you look at it though, you're kind of looking at him as Austin Prock. They haven't had those type of moments. And when they have, they both had those moments where they went to bed. But that hasn't happened that much this season. So you can at least expect him to at least make it to the second round, or at least the semifinal at minimum. And
best case scenario, they qualify 1-8 or 2-7, and they got to run second round.
Yeah,
and then it's just over.
Yeah, that would be awesome, man.
Because in all honesty, fourth, it was not a place that I expected Dallas Glenn to qualify, and that's what put him on the same side of the ladder in that semifinal matchup. But if it happens again next race, it's too little, too late for Greg. It's got to happen early if it's going to happen at all. And I mean, never say never. That's why we watch these things, right? That's why we're going to tune in. But at this moment in time, it's hard to bet against Dallas Glenn, and I will definitely be looking at them play NHRA odds.
Definitely. It should be very interesting. Let's go to a break real quick, and then we'll come back and kind of close up the show a little bit. All right?
You bet.
Talking Funny Cars with Buddy Hall airs this Wednesday, and he'll be talking to this guy, Mike Neff. This should be fun. This should be real fun. Super relaxed guy, super chill all the time. It's so weird. But I'm looking forward to this one. It will be at 8 o'clock tomorrow on Wednesday. This one will be a half hour, as it normally is. It was a special last week with Jim Dunn. If you didn't catch that, it is up on the YouTube channel, so you can watch it there. Talking Funny Cars with Buddy Hall. But they will be back this Wednesday talking to Mike Neff. So super excited about that.
That's going to be a good episode. And you definitely, if you have not caught the Jim Dunn one, it is a recommended watch. That man has seen some stuff.
Yeah, he has seen some stuff for sure, man. He really has. This is it. This weekend is it. Pomona, it all goes down. We get to. Oh, it's 2 weeks from now. My bad.
2 weeks.
I'm ready.
It for the IHRA. You're correct.
That's right.
It is
IHRA
weekend all the way around, baby. Everybody's wrapping up. Everybody's Sega's wrapping up. Yeah. IHRA's wrapping up. NHRA's wrapping up the week after. Fuel Ultra Chaos out in Tucson. Everybody's wrapping up their series.
Yeah.
Championship time.
It is championship time. Great stuff by the guys out there at Southeast Gas Association. I believe it was in C-Gas. I think it was C-Gas. C-Gas. We had a first-time winner, and I'm super excited for Heath Adams in that car there. He was able to get the W there. He's out of Greenville, South Carolina. Wasn't too far from home there. We already knew who the champion was, and I believe this. I forget what got me all twisted up here with the gas stuff, but we had some really, really good championship finals. The one that was the best was in A-Gas with Leslie Horn and Chase Howard. 5 points separated them. They were duking it out. Chase went before Leslie went the round, and Leslie had to go his round. He jumps the line, car wheel stands as he normally does, and it's championship time. He stayed in it. It struck the wall. He grabbed another gear. It hopped up and struck the wall again, and it was over. The championship was over. Chase Howard wins. Guy worked really hard. Chase worked really hard this season to be in this position. He has that rollover there in Knoxville 21 days before the final. Gets the car to Gulfport, ready to go, faster than it was before he rolled it up and went turtle, and comes out here. Great track conditions. Shout out to Shady Side Dragway. Did great job prepping the racetrack for these guys, and they were able to put on a show. And I want to say to all the racers, what an excellent job. There were long, smoky burnouts. I mean, the Little Red Wagon does like almost an 1/8 mile burnout. Guys were it was great showmanship this weekend, and the fans got their money's worth. It was great weather. Great job by our media team. Adam, with the great photo.
If you missed it, that's still archived on YouTube, right? You can go back and watch it.
Go back and watch the whole thing. You can go back and watch the whole thing.
Absolutely, you enjoy that show.
Yeah,
and
it was great, man.
Especially with your handyman camera work too.
Yeah, I am the swing camera guy, usually on the top end of the racetrack. I had a great seat in the house for all of it. It's funny because you see it, but you don't. Because I'm more having the eye for what you guys are seeing, and I kind of see it, but I don't really process it because I'm focused on getting good shots for you guys on TV. So yeah, I see it, but it doesn't really process that well because it's almost like you are watching it, but you're not.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep. You're making TV. You're getting the shot, keeping them in frame and in focus, not paying attention to who's winning and losing.
Yeah. And where I was at this weekend gave me a lot of opportunity to do some different things this weekend and give you guys some different looks, some different shots. From the start and how we go about doing the whole thing. I had to man the camera Friday night. We kind of got behind the 8 ball. It's a little bit tough, man. People who think streaming is easy, come watch what we do in a weekend and you'll find out, you'll complain about somebody on the stream. You'll complain about the camera guy and what he's not doing and this and that. And it's harder than what you think. There's a lot going on. And there's a lot that can go wrong when you think that everything's going right. It's always some obscure thing that goes wrong. And you're like, what happened to that camera, stupid idiot? And it's like, no, that bad boy just went offline because the signal is being blocked by something. And it's, you know what I mean? It's so weird. Just when you think everything's going smooth, something happens. Like on Friday, I think it was Friday night for Test and Tune. We've never had this done before. He's always been able to splitter mic and then split into their system so that we have the PA and we have the sound for you guys of the announcer on the stream. Well, it was causing the speakers to pop and crack and break up at the track. So he has to call in an emergency. The last hour, we don't have an announcer for you guys on the Test and Tune. He has to call in an emergency. Shout out to Megan Kraft for coming through big and going and getting all the little things that he needed to make sure this wouldn't happen again, and had to do something different this time. And it worked. We were hoping that it would, and it did. So it's always something with streaming. It's not as easy as it looked, even with camera stuff, man. It's like with Leslie's thing, I'm always used to panning with the winning car. And last time I stuck with the crash, and I should have stuck with the incident with this one, but I didn't. So I didn't catch. You see it happen, but I pan away from it, and then you see him come by as he's like riding the wall with a flat tire. Was able to get him and get the shot down there, but this guy couldn't keep his mouth shut on the other end and was commentating a little bit. Good thing Lee was able to fix that, so he was able to get what he wanted to make. But sometimes, man, you're just like you're so zoned out. You're speaking to yourself, and you forget that your mic is hot.
Right.
So
well, I get it. Yep. You're calling it too. You're like,
yeah,
are you kidding me?
Because I hear David Lancaster, the voice of the Southeast Golfers Association, talk about, he wasn't moving, but I could see him moving in the car, and I was just like, I sat there for a minute, and I was like, no, he's okay. He's okay. He's moving in the car. He just can't get out that door. It's smashed, and then I didn't even think nothing of it. So my phone rings. It's Lee. And he's like, you got to be quiet, man. I was like, what? What? Was I talking? I didn't think I was talking. He was like, Leslie's incident. And I was like, oh. I was pissed after that. But it happens. I'll wear a muzzle next time. You just kind of, you're in that zone of doing things and you're down there by yourself. And sometimes you're talking to yourself, but you were talking out loud too much. So,
Get it.
learn a lesson for next time. But yeah, shout out to everybody. Chris, Adam, Lee, David, hell of a job this year. And I'm looking forward to picking up where we left off this year, next year, and making this thing even bigger and better than it was. I'm looking forward to the IHRA event that's coming up. It is a great list of cars. We got more funny cars than top fuelers, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the only thing that we don't have is a full field and top fuel as of yet. I don't think that maybe one might come out of the woodwork, but
Yeah.
There are only 7 top fuel cars. Everybody's like, where's all the fuel cars? And it's like, well, you got 7 top fuel cars. A couple of guys are stayed over in the West Coast because they're going to race Vegas and Pomona. Todd Payton's not there, or else we would have had 8. But okay, let's take away. We only got 7 top fuel cars. Well, we got 12 funny cars.
Yeah.
So we're going to be sending a lot of people home in that class. We've got 23 Mountain Motor Pro Stocks going for 16 spot. We've got
fun.
25 Pro Mods for a 32 car field, so everybody's going to race there. I think we're one short in Outlaw Pro Mod. You're going to have 7 there. Pro Nitrous for the first time, you're going to have 19 or 18 Pro Nitrous cars. You're going to have 2 guys going home in that class. I think you've got 17 Harleys going for 8 spots in Top Fuel Harley. I mean, there is a lineup of motorcycles that are coming to this deal. You've got full fields and alcohol dragster, full fields and alcohol funny car. You're going to have 1 funny car go home. The snowmobiles, there's 2, 4,
it's loaded.
20 snowmobiles coming out there. 9 fuel altered. So you're going to have, other than Top Fuel and Outlaw Pro Mod, and actually regular Pro Mod because it is a 32 car field. By IHRA's decision all year long, it has been. We're going to have bump spots in a lot of categories, and we're going to send a lot of good cars home. Mountain Motor Pro Stock specifically, I mean, you're sending, that's 7 guys going home. That's almost a race in itself. An 8 car field somewhere. So a lot of guys making their debut. Lenny Lodig's coming out. He's bringing, and we didn't mention it's not on their pro entry list, but factory stock. AJ Bird's bringing a Dodge out. We're going to have finally a Dodge in IHRA factory stock. You got Doug Hamps coming out. Lenny Log, Jesse Alexandra's coming out. So you're going to have some stout factory stock cars coming to race too. Just, some of the names that come out, Mike Decker Jr. And then Hollywood coming out. They're bringing their 2-car team to attack. You got Ty Tutterow coming out. Ethan Stedding's coming out. Randy Weatherford's bringing he's on 2 lists. I don't know if he's bringing both cars or what do we got going on there.
Right.
Kai Kelly, Zach Sackman, Jay Dietrich, Lyle Barnett is a late addition to the list, fresh off of his whooping of Stevie Fast Jackson at Las Vegas. They're bringing the car out, and he's going to run. Jay Dietrich's on the list there. Megan Smith making her alcohol dragster debut with the IHRA, and John Smith running a Nitro Funny car. The Hartman Smith family has just such a steep tradition in IHRA, and I know Megan's excited to get out there and run. The names on the list, you've got Shane Conway in alcohol dragster, Thomas Fox, Jamie Noonan, U.S. Nationals winner, coming to drive the car. Will Smith making his debut in Nitro Funny car. We're going to see how that plays out. Good luck to Will. I mean, it's going to be a struggle, unfortunately, just to make the show with as many funny cars are out there. Keith Jackson coming out, Eric Stevens coming out, just a lot of names. Bobby Bodie's on the list. Bobby Bodie's coming out.
I like that.
In the IHRA water. Kyle Satinstein, after that scary incident at Dallas, getting their trailer wrecked on the way home, they've got that stuff repaired in time to make this race. So huge kudos to them to be able to get that car out. There's a lot. There are so many storylines in so many different classes that I don't even know how we're going to cover it all. But we got 2 days to do it. Qualifying day, don't miss it on Friday, especially Friday evening, Q2. And we are 2 days away from putting cars on the track. You know what they got in it right now?
What's that?
Bulldozers. They got the shutdown area out of the track right now, as of today. They found a bump between the finish line and in the shutdown area, and they are currently digging out both lanes, and they are I'm assuming planning on paving them tomorrow and getting them all ready to go and smooth to handle this show. But yeah, 2 days before the event, and there is about 700-foot section of track that's missing right now.
Wow. I think this is going to be the biggest crowd that they've had this year. I think it's a perfect spot to have it. perfect ending as well. And it's going to be a way to have a really big grand finale to send us off into 2026 and the championship season and series that we're going to have back in 2026. I'm excited for it all. It's going to be fun. What a great way to segue from it to championship weekend for the NHRA. And we're going to close out drag racing season with a bang. So I'm super excited about it, man.
And on both coasts. So depending on which side of the country you're on, you got East Coast IHRA this weekend, West Coast NHRA next weekend. Drag racing has got you covered coast to coast.
Yeah, man.
Well, I guess even if you're on the West Coast in Arizona, this is Tucson is the Fuel Altered Nationals, I believe. That's next weekend too. That's right. I think it runs the same weekend as Pomona, unfortunately, if I'm not mistaken. So, are they going to get interviews with the snowmobiles? Of course they do. They talk to everybody, man. We put everybody on the TV.
Yep, they do. They do a good job.
You go down the track and you got a fast machine, you get an interview.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. I love what they're doing over there, and I'm excited for this weekend, especially since I won't be at a high school playoff game yet. That will be next weekend, so I don't miss any IHRA, so I'm good to go. I'm loving it. So, Dave, thanks for taking the time to come on the show. We're going to close this thing out with a segment I call, what do you want to talk? No, let me talk to you, all right? Because I got some shit to say. And we're going to get this off my chest, man. Thank you for taking the time to come on the show. Always a blast having you. Well, here we go, guys. Here we go. And
let me talk to you.
Look, first things first. The NFL decides that they want to arbitrarily suspend Washington Commanders linebacker Frankie Louvu for repeated violations of the league rule policy on player safety in regards to the hip drop tackle. First of all, I wish I could have the video here. It's very hard to put up, but you can go on Twitter. Type in my guy, Chick Hernandez. He has the video retweeted in his post. He also disagrees with the suspension. I've seen a lot of hip drop tackles throughout the 8 weeks of the NFL that have not been called. I have heard colleagues of mine say, well, I don't know if they have been fined or not. No, if you are a part of the league and you have a login to the back door of the league where we get all of the transactions that happen, all of the people who are injured and on injured reserve who will not be playing, whatever, you get fines and suspensions as that suspension came to your email. So if people were fined for these hip drop tackles after the fact, we would have notification of that. So that answer for you has already been answered. That answer is no, they have not. And when you look at these 3 plays, it's really bogus. Because let's look at Exhibit A in Washington Commanders quarterback JD5, Jaden Daniels. His knee injury was a result of a hip drop tackle. The quad injury was also a result of a hip drop tackle. You could almost say that there was a hip drop tackle against him in the Seattle game. The same game that they said that Frankie Louvu had a hip drop tackle, and that was the third. I say bogus. And yet, those people are not being fined or suspended. Look, man, NFL officiating, this has become laughable now. The inconsistencies are absolutely absurd and ridiculous. The novice fan knows you're a joke. All we're asking is for consistency. This isn't consistent with what we've seen through 8 weeks. Ain't one flag been thrown on a hip drop tackle. But we still don't know what pass interference is. We still don't know what illegal contact is, and we sure as hell still don't know what holding is, because I see guys getting fish hooked, and it's not being called. If you want to be respected, you have to do your job respectable. And since I wrote the article probably in 2016 about the officiating and how poor it is, it hasn't gotten any better. And you don't plan on making it any better. But yet we have betting, we have all these things, and yet your referees get to decide the outcomes at times that cost people money on bad calls. And then you have your officials stand up and justify their actions. First off, what you need to do, those who are out there and really need to be in a senior citizen home and not on the field, calling and making calls and officiating, you need to send those people home. Because it's very clear that I've got old guys that are standing right there on the line and making the exact wrong call. That tells me you either got cataracts, you can't see, or you're choosing not to see what you're supposed to. Need a younger batch. But you also have to be proactive and actually give a darn and get these simple calls that are everyday calls that we're going to see in every game that might happen correct with no questions. 2, this goes out to DC sports media. And you know who you are. Everybody wanted to know who Brian Mitchell was talking about when he was talking about a group of people who didn't want Jaden Daniels, and they're using this opportunity to call him injury prone because they don't like him. They're the same guys who stir you guys up, you Commanders fans up, and get you all riled up and firing everybody because they're a bunch of fanboys and they're not journalists. Calling them journalists is an insult. They shouldn't even be on the radio. They actually should just have a podcast that they do. But yet, they're on DC radio spewing garbage, uneducated garbage, and you guys are just eating it up, hook, line, and sinker. You 3 jabronis are part of the problem with DC sports media. You are the reason why the fans act the way they do and are so erratic at times that they can't see the forest for the trees. To be honest, I'm really tired of you 3 and those like you having a seat at my table, where we actually do the work, ask the questions, and actually know what the heck we're looking at when we're looking at film. Because you guys go with the flow of how the team is doing. When things are good, just like a fan, you're feeling good. The second stuff goes bad, we're talking negatively about Dan Quinn and saying how I never really liked the guy in the first place. But we don't like you. What do you know anyway? You're the same guys that were defending Jay Gruden and those like him. Your opinion means nothing, man. But please, what y'all need to start doing is keeping folks' name out your mouth. And realize that you aren't like us at all. And nor do we want you to be. Guys, thank you so much for watching the show. I'm looking forward to drag racing this weekend. I believe we have a Thursday night football game. I forget who it is. I think it's a pretty good game this week in Thursday night football. Hope you guys enjoy that. College football this weekend. Go Dogs, they barely won. When I looked at the score, I thought they had lost. I wouldn't have been able to live that down come Monday morning at work because I talked a ton of trash. So I'm glad that they won. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for supporting the NotBland Show, VTRN Sports, Drag Race Reference, and Drag Race Bracket Bonanza, and everything Nitro. Thank you for supporting those folks as well. And man, I look forward to seeing you guys next Tuesday as we talk a little IHRA. We might even get in a little football this weekend as well and have a show on that. And hopefully I can get a special guest and a respectable guest to talk football next week as well. Thanks, everybody. We're going to get out of here. Good night. And we'll give you this word from VTRN Sports. VTRN Sports, powered by ESPN Radio. Wake up with your local sports talk, The Morning Warm-Up with Trey Lau, every weekday from 7 to 8 a.m. And wrap up your day with The Fast Lane with Ed Lane, weekday afternoons 5 to 6. Catch the best play-by-play college football Saturdays to NFL Sundays, plus big names and shows from ESPN Radio every day. Listen anytime on the VTRN Sports app. Stream on your smart speaker by saying Open VTRN Sports, or tune in on the radio 93.3 FM and 1320 AM in Lynchburg. And don't forget, you can watch the morning warm-up and the Fast Lane live on YouTube at VTRN Sports Lynchburg. VTRN Sports,